Hi guys, and welcome back to our end of season review. You have myself, Juls, Lavish to my right, thanks, and Chim.
Thank you. Good to be back. Long time. Didn't work behind the camera. It's time to get in front.
Literally. Only because Liverpool won the league, I decided to step behind. It's all premeditated.
Yeah, sip the drinks.
We're going to start with a summary from before lockdown and after lockdown and how the Prem went. Starting with myself, this season was just a write-off. From the minute we still came into the season with Emery, then we had Freddie, then we got Arteta. Like, it's just, as a whole, this season's a write-off for me, just in general. But congratulations to Liverpool, like, all that. But yeah. Chim, so starting with you, obviously Liverpool are champions. Describe to us your season.
I told you lot at the start of the season, man.
Yeah.
Go watch the tape. Told you. They're talking about not enough investment, this and that. I just had a feeling, when that Barcelona, I'm telling you, that night at Anfield against Barcelona, I just felt it, innit?
Barcelona's done too much damage to this world. Created a lot of pain in this world, so man. Started this whole shit.
A lot of joy for me, innit? But nah, I just had a feeling this season. Obviously, three-peating is probably the hardest thing to do in sport, innit? Even like doing the repeating is hard. Huh?
No, you're talking about City, okay,
Yeah. Three-peating is like the hardest thing, and obviously, for me, City letting Company go and not replacing him, that's their heart gone in, and that's their leader gone. So I just had a feeling like it was there for the taking. Do you know what I mean? And I knew our level of consistency would be the same as last season, purely because we won the Champions League, innit? And once you win one trophy, it can offset a lot of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I believe that we'd win. I'm happy that we won, obviously, in the fashion that we won as well. Obviously, people are gonna come in and try to tell us that Corona this and Corona that. League was done in January, man. League was done.
Always saying that there was a big break and it felt like a completely different season. That's what we're gonna say. That's what we're
It
gonna
doesn't
say.
matter how it feels. It matters about the history books, innit?
That's what we're gonna
2019, 2020. It's gonna say Liverpool champions.
Premier League.
No, it's gonna say 2019, 20. Liverpool champions. We're not gonna have asterisks.
Best team to ever secure the trophy in June, man.
Yeah.
Listen, we're creating history in more ways than one.
No, seriously, no,
Thank God it's not up for
Well
football
done.
to decide.
Well done.
To be honest. But yeah, nah. Thoroughly deserved, innit?
It was up to football, so that league would have been locked up in March.
Nah, for real.
Locked up.
But yeah,
Credit
man.
to Liverpool, credit to you. Your consistency levels were very high, even with or without Corona. I think Pep, I wouldn't say Pep gave you the league, but I'm so disappointed in him because there's so many matches, so many losses I look to that it shouldn't be, the gap shouldn't, if you beat them, it should be like 5 points, 6 points. It shouldn't have been done and dusted by November, because November was about 7 or 8 points, and everyone thought Liverpool bottled it then, even Liverpool fans believe they'll bottle it then.
Nah. By like November, everyone knew.
No,
The game against Wolves at home when they lost, when Traore just tore them apart. That's what I was like, yeah.
No, I'm talking about on a Liverpool perspective. Liverpool were like 7 points clear or something around November.
Well, 8 points. I think
8 points clear.
When you lot came back against Aston Villa, that's when I knew you lot are not losing this.
But the thing is, we were doing that last season, so that's why I was like,
a lot of the time. So it's also if City keep up with them, that was my issue. But City were dropping points. So Norwich, I'm looking around and seeing them lose big matches where they shouldn't be losing big matches as well. But what have I got here about my Liverpool notes? You don't have the least notes about you. Just, what can I say? Champions, well done. Are we talking about what we want from them next season? Just obviously bolster the squad now, because you can't do that thing of we did strengthen that much and we're going to do it again. You were lucky this time. But City's not going to let it happen
I don't think
again.
we're lucky. I think we're within that cycle, that 3-year period where you can keep that squad together and you can expect that continued success. But if you've noticed in modern football now, you have like that 3-year period, and after that, you need change in it. It's happened with all the best teams like Barcelona, even with Pep under Barcelona, they were great for 3 years, 4 seasons. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like we definitely. This is why I'm frustrated already for next season because like
This will be the third season.
That we're gonna do.
Yeah.
This will be your third
I
season.
can't lie, yeah. When I came in the chat, yeah, and I saw why not to Chelsea, I laughed in it. I laughed at the time because I was like, it's like, man, we just won the league. It's like. Then after a couple of days, I was like,
Like, let that slip.
when I was actually going for 45 mil and we let that slip, like, we can't be that broke.
That's why as big as a club, okay, you're a big club historically, but still not a big club.
Still bad to
the big club.
I'm so bad to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's a bit mad to me because obviously, like, and we were talking about the other day, like, obviously, Liverpool had that spending phase 2 years ago, but when you really look at how we financed that, we got Alisson and Van Dijk off of Coutinho going. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was never a time where the owner said, here's 100 million, go spend
But
that
like
money.
some of the finances still, without continuing when you got those two, but you still bought Fabinho, you still bought Kea.
But that was just like extra money on top, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like the owner said, here's 200
Here's the
million,
bag.
spend.
Only a few clubs do that in the Prem.
Big ballers.
But only some of them do them successfully.
But going back to Liverpool's success this season, that's why you have to give Klopp a lot of credit because it wasn't just built this season, it's been built for years. The right signings, more often than not, do you know what I mean? And all those signings that have been made, they've come in, whether it's taken them a while or not, they've acclimatized to the squad the way it wants us to play, and we've got to a point where we're like comfortable, we're like, do we need to buy players, do we have to? Obviously now I feel like we should, but up until this point, we've done
Last 2 years, like the team was set. You know, the ability to. Wait,
And it's like, it seems very long ago when people were saying it's Klopp or flop, bottles, finals and stuff. But now the narrative's changed and being like he's one of the best managers, if not the best manager in the world. But there was a time when people were comparing him, look at what Poch has done over there, what a fantastic job. So it's like very easy to see the finished article of, yeah, he looks sick now. But when he was buying Mane and Mane was linked to Manchester United, you lot turned your nose up at him. When Milner was linked to Arsenal, we turned up our nose at him. But yeah, there's loads of transfers that these players they're playing out of their skin for their manager. But if they were at other clubs, you wouldn't have grabbed them when they were available. So credit to Klopp for literally finding these gems.
wait.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is I'm disgusted that we've got mid-table clubs representing the fan first. That's all of that. I never thought we'd come to this. We've got mid-table clubs being represented in the final third. You don't have no shame. You don't have no shame.
Wait, is this the Arsenal segment?
No, I just need to get that off my
I
chest.
talked about United.
Okay, this is the United segment.
This is just me getting something off my chest. I thought we supported reputable clubs. And you man are chilling with the Burnleys and the Sheffield Uniteds of the world. It's all because you don't need to get that down your throat, like.
Man United, we're gonna thank Bruno, we're gonna thank Pogba, and we're just gonna thank just the players for getting it together. They've got a bit part manager who's coasting now, and it's. I just want the United fans. This is how you know United fans don't know anything about ball, because to this day, they was like they flow with the wind. If the result goes well, they'll say Oli in. If the result goes bad, they'll say Oli out. They'll tell you about how they have wing play or they want passing or fast football, but they can't tell you how they play. If you've never been able to tell a team, every team can say how they play except from United. You lot literally are team.
How did you not play when you lost Aston Villa? How did you not play when you
No,
lost?
but I'm saying historically, we can say how we play.
No, you don't. You can't.
Yeah, we can.
You can't. How do you play?
You know, we grew up with Arsenal playing passing football. That's what we grew up with. You can't tell me. You can't tell
You were
me.
like 6 when you don't play that type of.
So when Fabregas was at Arsenal,
Yeah, when Fabregas was retired now.
when
Fabregas was an old ass guy now. You're talking about.
when Sandy Cazorla was at
What are you
Arsenal,
talking
I was
about?
When
Is that
Sandy
how
Cazorla
you
was
play
at Arsenal.
ball? Is that how Sam plays ball?
Since Sam left this, since Sam left
Oh,
your
biggest
club,
waffler.
since Sam left your club, you can't tell me how you play.
What does that have to do with anything?
So I'm saying that you lot don't know ball. That's what I'm saying. That was my initial point, and I'm getting back to that point.
So the
You
fact
lot
that
don't know
we
ball.
can see,
You came third. You came third.
the fact that we can see we're playing
third.
third.
You can't see you're playing
Yeah,
third.
we can.
You can.
United fans
The
don't
last
think
couple
they're
matches,
playing
let's say
United fans can't see they're playing crap. They think they played well towards the end of the season. And
we did a couple games. A couple games we did play well.
So you're saying United fans generally believe we played bad and we scraped it. No, you're saying Oli should stay.
You're projecting now. Now you're projecting. This is
I'm generalising. When it's Arsenal fan TV, you not generalising.
No, you are generally like insane because you are mid-table. you are generally mid-table and you're talking generally mid-table.
All I'm gonna say is this is literally a tale of 2 seasons because before lockdown we wouldn't have got top 4. We wouldn't have got top 4 and it would have been very, very ugly trying to see us get Sancho with our Champions League.
Why did you get top 4?
Why did we get top 4? We got players fit. We got Rashford, we got Pogba back, Bruno came in, Martial up front, Greenwood came into the team instead of Dan James. All just meshed together kind of. Matic came into the team. At the start, he looked very good, but obviously the legs got to him. Put all of that together, we started to play really well, but then, the fatigue set in and then we kind of just looked disabled again. But
I got a short answer, man. The reason why United got top 4 was because Leicester bought it, man. Obviously, I agree with everything you're saying in terms of the improvements and changes made, but Leicester was 13 points ahead of you. 14 points ahead of you.
I feel like
let it slip. Come on, man.
I feel like Leicester bottled it to an extent, but at the same time, everything just regressed to the mean. Like you see the quality of Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood against the quality of Vardy, Iheanacho, Harvey Barnes, Hamza Chelsea. Eventually, because we didn't have a lot of these players available for the first half of the season, so when all of that comes together, it's kind of just a sense that our quality, and especially in that lockdown period when we finally got it together against their quality, it was a shootout.
I agree, but when you put in context, the fact that you come back from lockdown and it's 14-point gap or whatever, Leicester really just have to win maybe 3 games. They don't even beat Brighton at home. Do you know what I mean? All these kind of games. Fair enough, they lost 4-1 to Bournemouth. Like these are, regardless of the quality of the team, Leicester should be winning those games. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so like obviously I feel like you said, like it all comes together, innit, for United, but I don't know, man. I just feel like, because I even saw a stat the other day, United finished with the same amount of points as last season. Last season we finished 6th, this season we finished 3rd. It shows the quality of the Prem and how it went down this season, and as well how Leicester gave you like the chance to get back into it.
Yeah, Leicester definitely. I won't deny they bottled it high key, but at the same time, United coming the other way, we had our own little run and we managed to put some results together, played a part. But yeah, definitely Leicester.
It all came together, innit, essentially.
Leicester disgraced themselves.
Yeah, big time.
Leicester take it. Ain't give nobody like. My boys Martial and Rashford came and took that. Came and bullied the block.
I'm disgusted. I'm just disgusted, man. I'm so disgusted.
Still didn't become the manager.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. I'm disgusted because I saw certain man say, Oli should stay. But that's fine, innit? I want him to stay.
Ollie's not gonna go. Ollie's not gonna go anywhere.
I'm not saying we should go anywhere, but I'm just saying, let's give credit to the players and let's not say this is tactical or he did very well.
I'm not giving Ollie credit.
I'm gonna give Ollie credit because he put faith in Martial and Rashford.
Who else would you have put faith in?
He could have signed somebody in this.
Could have played Igalo. He signed Igalo
in the summer as a back. In January as a backup. I'm talking about in summer. He didn't sign nobody to replace Lukaku. He could have got a striker. I'll give him credit for allowing them to make mistakes, allowing them to have bad performances, and still have faith with them because we saw towards the end of the season, even throughout the whole season, when them two played together, they genuinely played well.
Okay, I've never heard that from before. I'm gonna let you have that. But
the only credit I give him is because he finally came to his senses and saw Daniel James is not a Premier League starting winger and brought him in. That's the only thing I can't have that guy back on the pitch. I can't do it again. I can't do it. We need to sign Sancho because if I see Daniel James on the pitch, I will.
The only good thing I have to say about Ollie is he realizes, like, as a fan, if you watch him, you think, I'll bring this person on, and he brings them on. Which, as an Arsenal fan, is very frustrating because our managers try to be this unorthodox black and maybe a bit savvy and bring someone on that you don't expect to come on. So his substitutions make sense very often. They're very clear cut, so he does the clear cut stuff. But I don't think he should be managing a club like Man United, and I stand by it.
Wait, we have to give him the next season.
But he's done a great.
He's done the minimum he needs to do.
Yeah, he's done a great job to get them.
I don't think it's so unfair though because of all the managers that have managed United, he's not the one that should be getting this back in the transfer market.
Thank you very
You
much.
want but him? Come on. When you look at credentials,
Potential mental man. Look, Louis Van Gaal brought a swear that he was basically retired.
no, but I'm saying when you look at credentials,
Credentials.
Moyes coming to hear what I'm saying. Moyes coming to United didn't get the same support Solskjaer's getting.
Bro,
Stop. Let me land. I'm not talking about whether he would have bought the right players or not. I'm saying Solskjaer is of that caliber of manager. What's the difference between Moyes and Solskjaer?
all of them got
Lower than Moyes.
apart from okay, you can say Moyes, but he messed up in the summer. He could have got Thiago. He could have got Bell Cruz. All of these guys, he messed them up. So
but I'm just saying, Solskjaer has been given the luxury,
and Van Gaal got that luxury, and Jose Mourinho got that luxury.
Yeah,
all of them got that luxury.
All of them got backed. Obviously, not everyone got backed by Oli, like by the fans. Sorry, the fans are the ones that backed Oli more. The board backed all of them. Only one window they didn't let Mourinho have what he wanted.
And that's because they wanted to get rid of guys like Martial. He wanted to get rid of guys like like Rashford.
And
so
he
there's
wanted
no
to
way.
buy
But it's crazy though, because Solskjaer spent 150 million last summer. He's getting a chance to buy Sancho for 100 mil. Do you know what I mean? And there will be more players to follow. That's what I'm saying. He's been fortunate.
How many rebuilds do you want?
Exactly.
How many rebuilds can one club have? That's why I'm done. Like,
When you're not broke, you can have as many as you want.
You can try again as many times as you want.
Managers have to manage. That's one point. Managers have to manage at one point. You've changed the personnel so many times. Yeah.
And we're gonna keep doing it.
Alright, keep doing it.
You have to keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
The only team I've ever seen that work for is Chelsea. But
It's a different world now. If it's not working, change up. You wanna stick with a player for how many years?
Chelsea changed it when it was working.
How many years are you gonna stick with a player and then say it's not working? We're gonna stick with you. You've got to change it up.
We're gonna move on to Arsenal season. Okay, cool.
So yeah, just with Arsenal, three managers in one season. As Arsenal fans, we've never historically had this much change in one season. As a whole, glimmer of hope in that I've never been through a season where we beat Liverpool and City. Glimmer of hope. I'm gonna say that because when I wasn't too happy when we beat City, everyone said, "Oh, why you being down and that?" Because for me, it means nothing. But anyway, cool. So the season as a whole, it's been just a season of two halves, and one half was better than the other, to be fair, because we started with Emery, which seems so long ago. We've gone through Xhaka throwing his thing on the floor, people scapegoating Ozil, just several.
really needed Jammers and documentary.
We needed one. Then so let me start from Arteta's reign, because before Arteta I don't really care. But let me give him credit, he's tried. He's given us a little bit of hope. And you know with the personnel that our squad is very depleted, and it's not the only star man there is Aubameyang, who is in dispute whether he's gonna stay or not. Giving chance to the youth, which I don't think anyone else would have given, to the likes of Saka, Nelson.
Emery walked through Saka.
No, but I mean, like, he's literally let them play. Just go and play. Just go play. Not trust minutes. But trust minutes is different. Trust minutes is different to playing players.
Saka playing consistently.
You have to play devil's advocate.
Listen. I don't care. I'm not giving Emery.
Emery doesn't get props.
I'm not giving Emery anything. Yeah.
You've got Reece Nelson as well.
Exactly. First day of the season, Nelson was in the team.
Emery should have got more time.
No, Oli should have all the time in the world. But as an Arsenal fan, I could say if we don't win the FA Cup, I think it's probably one of the worst seasons as an Arsenal fan.
100%. We haven't finished
100%.
25 years.
But it's given us a little bit of hope. That's the thing. But it's still been one of the worst seasons, or the worst season I've witnessed as an Arsenal fan. So the youth give us hope. Hopefully Aubameyang signs, but I don't know what next season is just dependent on the transfer market strictly, and it's the same situation with Arsenal for the past 8 years. It's just, will we throw the bag at stuff? And I don't know if we will. From next season, what I want from Arteta, in-game management's got to be better. His substitutions are awful. He should teach the team how to hold on to a lead. If that means something, you can teach that.
He's been doing that.
But I can pick up a couple matches where we'll go 1-0 up and then we end up losing. Do you get? I would say balance the attack on both sides, but I think that's an Arsenal problem more so than an Arteta problem. In that most of our attacks are always on the left-hand side of the pitch, even when Emery was there, even when Kolasinac was playing all right, and we signed a right winger. We have no out and out left winger, but all of our attacks are on the left. On the right hand side, it's dog shit. So balance out the attacks. That's it really. And better defenders, isn't it? I guess. Get the party over here as well. Party time.
It is one of the most funniest seasons I've ever seen from a top 6 club. Can we still call you like that? Are we still allowed to stop?
I'm just asking, are we still allowed to call you like that? Or do you have to open it up to the top half and include
whenever legal.
Okay, for a big 6 club.
We're still a big 6 club.
For a big 6 club, you like one of the funniest seasons ever. From Emery, the fact that you lot let Emery continue to just lead you lot down this wormhole when it was clear for like months that you lot got nip in the bud, but you lot let him carry on for time, just knowing that it's gonna come eventually, but I'm still not firing you just yet. And then you left Lundberg out there to drag, because that was a hard. He was only there for like 3 months. 3 games. Only there for 3 games. It felt like 3 months. Because he didn't have a clue. He didn't have a clue what he was doing. You got in Arteta, and as you said, there's some hope there. It feels like there's some promise there. Given the right conditions, there's some promise. Get him some players. He seems to know what he's doing a little bit. He's still raw tactically, as you said. Some of the decisions he made. Sometimes he'll bring on that Willock to win a game.
Every game.
Me personally, I wouldn't have done that. I ain't the manager. So he still seems a bit raw. Some of his decisions still seem a bit raw. But tactically, he set you up good at times. And he's shown that he could possibly have what it takes to be a top manager and lead you somewhere. But as you said, the basis is getting some better players. That he knows it. I'm sure the Arsenal board know it. And Juls' little relationship with this Kia Jubukan guy, and he's getting all these Coutinhos, Willian, Cedric Suarez. You don't need to cut that. You don't got to cut that.
It's not old people's time.
That's literally what it like. He's giving you all of these guys. Yeah, Samaka.
You just get some proper players in. The problem is, you lot don't have the money, or you have it. You have an owner that's not willing to.
Partey did it take you 5 mil.
That was
very embarrassing. I don't know, man. Just we need a loan. We need a loan. Like, we need help. Like, generally,
I'll speak to Edward.
We don't want to trash.
I'll speak to Edward. He's a nice guy, I promise you. Most people out there. Isn't that pro bono shit? So
I know if they put a GoFundMe for Arsenal to get Partey, we'll bag it in less than 24 hours. 24 hours, bag it, 100%. We on our knees. 40 million pounds. 40 million pounds, so that's 45 euros or so. We can get this done.
They want you to match in the lease clause, which is 40 now.
50.
You know they're going to fund me. They're going to put that towards a new standard.
100%.
For Emirates.
Oh man, I'm disheartened. And just win this FA Cup. But people keep saying that we're going to get into the Europa League, attract players. This is the thing with Arsenal. All this attracting players in Europe is dead.
It's not even about attracting players. You are literally, as you said, you're broke.
It's dead. It's the fact you need the money.
If you don't think
the money you need, it's the money.
Exactly, and you've got an owner that does not want to give you money.
And
so without European football, how do you even expect?
Here's why it's still dog shit. It's because even with that money that we win, it's not guaranteed to be pumped back into the team.
It's not guaranteed, but it's the best hope. Unless Kroenke is going to start magically pumping money, and he's never really done that. You don't need European football to really move on, like stay at this level. Because deep the level you're at right now, you could be playing without European football. How do you expect to get into European football next season? Wolves aren't going to fall off like that. Sheffield United might come back stronger. Like Leicester are going to try to come back stronger. Madison signed a new deal. Yeah. Like you deep it, like you lot are in danger of staying at that level if you're not careful. Because how are you going to get the players in if you're out here bidding 25 million plus when losing for Partey? You can't really scrape.
Talking up rare. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to score some ball in your club. I'm sorry, man, but it feels like you don't need to see the harsh reality of this shit. Like you don't need that European football to do the bare minimum of what you need to do. That's the bare minimum.
And to tell you the truth as well, yeah. Let's start looking at Europa League like it's bad. It's actually a good.
It's actually a good. They've got no pedigree in Europe. They've got no pedigree.
Go win Europa. You're in the Champions League.
Are you going to jump to Champions League? No. Bigger thing. You got to win Europa League.
Not you, bro.
You got to win Europa.
Giving us.
You got to win Europa first. Nah, bigger thing. You got to get some pedigree in Europe first.
Huh?
You don't even get
Proper.
get Europa League, you get Champions League.
Stop,
that way.
firstly, stop putting. Stop putting us.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But, like, step your game up in this European talk, man.
I'm so pissed off.
I'm sorry, man.
You lot trying to give us like codes and how cheat codes and how to win.
I'm sorry, man.
Words.
Listen, United got into Champions League for Europa.
Man, we would have been in the
Listen. I've never seen a club celebrate top four because like how we used to
When we
celebrate
did,
the
oh,
criticize
shit.
for it. So it's funny how now when you're doing it, it's very the hypocrisy is
When
very,
you were celebrating top four, we were celebrating titles. There's a difference, brother. We were celebrating titles.
I'm sure in 2014 and that when we were like, yeah, we finished on top, you're like, oh yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's what I'm talking about them times.
Nah.
When you lot were done and dusted with Moyes and that, because you weren't winning nothing then.
You know, we're celebrating top four back then.
Yeah,
You don't want to Wenger out back then.
Yeah, but
you want to Wenger out back then.
At least
You were celebrating.
At least you still got top four. At least you still got top four. At least you still got top four.
I'm not trying to rewrite history now. Like this is communism or something. Like we can't rewrite history. You've seen it already. You've seen it. And then the day, just try win the FA Cup and get into Europa. Literally, don't tie your nose up like it. Don't do that. Yeah, real boy, don't tie your nose up. Oh.
Man.
Not for another season anyway. So we're going to quickly round up City, Spurs, and Chelsea season.
We done with City.
Let's do City.
City.
We know what's wrong.
What
with
went
City,
wrong?
man. We know what's wrong. Like level of complacency, definitely. I believe. Because the games they were losing, they're not games they've been losing over the last couple of years. It felt like Pep in his first season at City. You know what I mean? The way they're losing some of the games. So definitely a hint of complacency and obviously the defense.
That's a bit far fetched to say it was first season. There was a first season.
Some of the games they were losing.
Some of the games they were losing. Some of the games they were losing is individual mistakes by defenders. Individual mistakes by defenders. First season, they weren't playing ball. They weren't playing like that. City are still kicking the way they kicked last season. Just that when you catch them on the counter now,
it's not yet. That is true. Get them on the car. Get them on the car. Have you noticed Fernandinho's not in holding?
Exactly.
And he's the guy that was fouling people, stopping counters.
And why Pep showed his ass this season is because he replaced Company and he's shown the whole of England that Stones ain't shit. Because Fernandinho has gone to play centre back and he's now the best centre back and he's naturally a centre mid. You also signed Rodri, who he's had an okay season, but you're filling out big shoes in that you're replacing Fernandinho, and the crucial part on their defensive unit is the DM rather than the CB. But
it's a bit unfair though because I feel like a lot of players have allowed us to forget about the whole let the players settle in first season thing.
That died out.
Well, it's a bit unfair because when you look at someone like Rodri, he's definitely the type of player where you can say, you can see there's a player there, but he might need to acclimatise to the environment. He's not the quickest, do you know what I mean? So I'm interested to see how he'll play next season, but obviously it was big shoes to fill.
That died out after Salah's season.
Well, it's not
everyone that comes in first season, from Matip to Xhaka to Mustafi to everybody that's coming first season, it's a flop. 7 games in, is this your guy?
Some of those guys,
they're still.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
even someone like Pepe, you got to give him time.
I'm saying that first season thing is like we don't hear it in mainstream media anymore about acclimatizing to the Prem. It's gone out the window. Jorginho, every man that comes, you get pammed straight away. So maybe we need to be patient, but it's just the way we just see football now, I guess.
I just want to big up Sterling, 20 goals in the Prem.
That's big.
That's the only thing City should take from this campaign. 20 goals.
And Mahrez
as well.
One Mahrez.
You know what I'm saying? Mahrez, because Mahrez was not the same player last season.
He's not. I don't think he's been the same player this season.
I think he's been a lot better in the second half of the season.
Big up for Ford, that's who I want to big up. I'm big up for Ford. He came back from lockdown on some different stuff.
KDB,
he's alright.
KDB.
I think we need to big him up.
I think City's got one more season of the whole Aguero Jesus thing, and then they're done with it. This season, because they have to focus on getting another centre back. They've got first centre back, a DM. Maybe they can hold off on the striker right now, but the Aguero Jesus thing, this is the last season of it.
Yeah. Well, Aguero's leaving next season.
Yeah, he's gonna leave next season, but Jesus can't lead that front line for me, boy.
Nah,
his tech is good.
I don't know. To me, he needs to play with someone You can't be the guy who's
Yeah, I definitely hear that. Like, maybe as a secondary, maybe even to the left, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for him up front, for me, he's still like a good option right now. But yeah, once Aguero leaves, it's gonna have to be a thing where can we improve on him, or do we go a different direction?
He's getting older, you know. He's like 23 now.
23, 24, something like that.
24. So
Pep, this is the only way City can save their season. They're still on a good. They're winning 2-1 against Madrid, so they can get that back. But yeah, if they win that Champions League, we're talking about them differently. You get it?
Yeah, for sure.
But Pep's doing another rebuild. We'll talk about that later.
We've got to talk about that though. We've got to talk about that. Listen, man, I love Pep. You know I love Pep, but this is getting a bit ridiculous. You lost the league this season. How are you just able to just throw that back every time? We're talking about rebuilds at United. See, you don't even need a big rebuild, and he's rebuilding that.
And then wonder why everyone was trying to snitch on City. Like, come on, man. Is this normal? Is this normal?
What do you two players? We smell real broke over here. Rich people don't argue about other rich people spending money. That's the thing. So I'm sure you should be appalled at yourself. That's how you know money actually.
Yeah, they got some class with the money, man.
Nah,
See, I got some class, man.
He's not throwing 80 million at Maguire, 40 million at Ake. Like, what we really? Are we moving with class? Is this what we're doing? 40 million for Ake. That's a bit of a mad.
Relegated team as well. You just put that amount of money.
They don't do negotiation.
They see just say, fuck it, here's the bag.
They don't have to. You can beg for your money.
Replace Sane straight away. Got the Ferran Torres.
That's a good signing because if you look at his age as well, he doesn't even need to come on the team shirt. He can play back up for a while. He's 20 years old.
I remember saying, hurry up.
So moving on to Spurs.
Oh,
man.
Jose Mourinho. Jose. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Oh, I rap Champions League music. And you're out here celebrating Europa League. There's levels to this stuff. Rashford and Marshall, we came up at the mud, and now you're out here repping guys.
We need to get some positivity. We need to get some Spurs fans on it because it seems like every time it's just negative. But for all my Spurs points, like Mourinho got Ali playing well, and then
for like 2 games.
Negatives, isolated Mbele, Tom Parrott probably.
Mbele, come to death.
But again, they got no trophy again. It's getting a bit.
I'll tell you what's funny. If Jose wins the League Cup, he becomes a legend at Spurs.
That's what's crazy.
He becomes a legend. Like he generally, if he has a 2 out of 10 season, but he
wins the League Cup, he's got them a trophy because they've never. And he will say it.
He'll generally remind you when was the last time you won
trophy.
Ramos was in his prime when you got last one.
I do not understand how Spurs fans have a voice about being the biggest in London or North London or whatever. Spurs are the only team in history I know to keep their golden generation for like a good span and not win anything. And in that peak, they had apparently a title push, which never really happened because Leicester was 3 points ahead of them and Chelsea was always 3 points ahead of them. They were just playing games on the Saturday and catching them up the game, and Chelsea was having a game in hand. So they kept their golden generation, had nothing came to it. They just became a stable top 4 team. And the year you complain about not spending money when Levy got out the money, this is your worst season because you bought a number there. You got
it was too late. Man.
You got Lo Celso.
Adito.
You got Bergwijn.
Yeah.
You pushed the boy out. This is the year you actually spent money because I remember last season they signed no one and they were linked to Grealish for 25 million and everyone was like, you're only getting Grealish from the Championship. Yeah. This season you signed someone and you regressed. I don't know if Harry Kane's going to be able to. His loyalty is going to be the death of him because he should have kicked on to maybe United 2 years ago or something, but that's going to be the death of him because I think his problem is the Rooney syndrome and that just wearing him down with bare games. And this season, when it starts September 12th, we've got the Euros at the end. So it's not going to get any easier for him. So I don't know with Spurs, boy.
Well, as I said, Mourinho, enjoy the Europa League music. I don't even know what it sounds like. But Marshall, Rashford, Pogba, they're going to be walking past the biggers. Inshallah, Pogba walks with us, you don't know where he's going to go. But, Mourinho, enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. Because they ain't got nothing going for them.
All I can say is I'm looking forward to that doc.
Literally. Oh, my days. What did Mourinho say? You have to play like cunts.
Yeah.
You have to play like cunts. Today,
You have to be cunts on the pitch with.
You have to be gods on the pitch.
I'd finally moved on to Chelsea.
That defense, man. Listen, they conceded what? I even got it written down. They conceded. How much they goals? 54 goals, man. Their goal difference was plus 15.
Let's be positive.
Kepa to get out the first keepers I know that are transparent.
We have
Everything just goes literally right through them. I don't understand it. It goes right through them. It's like they're not there.
Kepa has weak wrists. The hair transparent. But let's be positive. Chelsea had a 9 out of 10 season.
Jeez,
Chelsea had a fantastic
I'll give them
season.
9 out of 10 if they win that thing.
Yeah, that's what I was looking
Right
for.
now.
Chelsea had a 9 out of 10 season if they win the FA Cup. Fantastic season. Fantastic. They've had a fantastic season. Start of this season, Chelsea transfer ban, all the youth, bringing them back from Villa, Derby County, bringing Rich James back from anywhere, wherever he was. It's like, how's Chelsea going to be able to do it? We thought Man United would secure third. We thought
This season, everyone feels sick.
who did you think was going to be?
I said Arsenal.
So who did you think was going to be the top four?
I said
I thought it was gonna
City,
be
Liverpool,
Spurs and
United.
Arsenal.
Okay, because Arsenal had said Spurs United. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we didn't expect Chelsea to be top four, so they've done very well. They've beaten who they're supposed to beat, and in game they've beaten and then they beat the little teams. They beat the little team.
Their record at Stamford Bridge was crap.
Yeah, it was before the break. They've done what they needed to do. Mount's really, in his debut season, has done very, very well. Obviously, what you said that you think he's still an average player, he's not got that wow factor, but he's still done very well. Tammy Abraham got off to a good start, dipped off. We won't bring that up, don't worry. We won't bring that up. Kovacic had a very strong season. And Pulisic really kicked on. Like, obviously at the start, everyone was putting him under the lights. Again, what you said about the first season thing, everyone forgets it. But he's really especially that Liverpool game, I've not seen something like that in a while. That was Hazard-esque. Yeah. Right. So, but I think they've had a good season. And what we can say is Frank's trust in the young players has shown that they can be good squad players when big players come into next season. But it showed their ass defensively. They've got to sort that shit out, man.
Listen, man, it was a free hit for them. So, I'm not gonna lie, if I was Lampard, I'd be proud, innit? Because, like you said, transfer ban, we'll have them dances and stuff. But I feel like this was such a great season for Chelsea's development. Because he's able to see now, after he's brought all these players, these new players, he's able to see who he wants to keep at the club, who he doesn't want to have at the club. Like, Mount is going to be a Chelsea player for a long time. For a long time. Do you know what I mean? Rhys James is going to be a Chelsea player for a long time. You know, we've got, listen, I'm not the biggest Tammy fan, but he can stick around the squad. Hudson have done it as well. So you look at, and Pulisic as well. So it was definitely a good season for the development. I wouldn't say it's 9 out of 10 unless they win the FA Cup. Yeah. Purely because when you actually put in context, obviously before the season they had a transfer ban. But as the season went on, you're looking at them and thinking, you can do a bit more. Those are games you shouldn't lose. Those are games you should be winning. Do you know what I mean? But obviously they got Champions League, and it just seems like Chelsea never had a bad period as a club.
Yeah, they never have a bad one. It's a very short-term blip.
So
give that season the calm 7 out of 10. As you said, they beat some teams, beat some big teams, but all in all, when you look at the quality they were facing, the quality they were supposed to be facing, they were supposed to be challenged by United and Arsenal and Spurs realistically, but the first half of the season, did any of them show up really?
No.
None of them showed up. So big up Lampard and Chelsea for putting together some wins and actually staying in the top four. Obviously, as you said, the young players showed up in periods during the season. They showed that they can continue playing for Chelsea, but all in all, I wouldn't say it's like a spectacular season because the Premier League has not been spectacular this year. So to now say that, because Lampard only brought in Pulisic.
You do what you needed to do, yo. You do what you need to do, and you can only play what's around you. So that's why you have to. You can't do that. You can't negate the fact that he still came. Sorry, not fourth, and third, fourth, and he did it with them kids that we didn't write off, but we didn't expect them to be where they are.
Didn't expect that.
So but credit to him, credit to Lampard. And if they turn around and buy him, which they definitely will not, then it's an 11 out of 10 season. That's crazy. That's crazy.
They didn't turn it around, they'll buy him.
So rounding it off to relegation, Norwich, Watford, and Bournemouth all got relegated. Did we anticipate those 3 teams to be
Well,
relegated?
Sheffield would be there. I thought Sheffield would be there. I didn't think Bournemouth would go down. Wanted Newcastle to go down. And I thought it would be Newcastle, Sheffield, and Palace.
Jesus.
Palace?
Palace.
I thought him down tools. You got Pepe and he was, himself.
He didn't have the best season.
Yeah, you can tell he was down about not getting them.
Yeah.
But Norwich really surprised me. I literally, when I saw them play against Liverpool in the first game, I knew something was going to go wrong. You can't play that openly at Anfield. At Anfield, just lock up shop. Like even if you get the 1-0 loss, like sometimes you have to take that. But these men were trying to play ball against Liverpool, just got sliced open. So something felt iffy since then. Bournemouth, I felt that since January they was going to go down because they just didn't look with it. Like it looked like a single child.
We all thought Southampton would go on.
Southampton?
No.
What?
You didn't think they were going to get smacked 9-0?
Nah. It was too early to say he was going down.
I even think the squad had too much quality for them to go down.
I thought Aston Villa were done and dusted.
Norwich, Aston Villa. Basically the 3 that came up.
Yeah, so
For me.
I thought Aston Villa were done at it because even until only a couple games ago, I thought they looked done. They looked stick the fork in and they're done. But somehow they got a win against Arsenal. I think a draw against somebody else.
I'm
I'm sorry, but I'm saying some result. You know, actually gave them a W. You actually gave them a W. You could have bought Grealish for like 40 million if it was a fee. You could have bought Grealish for a calm little price. Now they will save 80 million. Thank you very much for losing to them. Just ruined it. Ruined it.
So you don't want them to go?
Hey man, you can't. No one's trying to pay 80 million for Grealish. No one's trying to win.
I want Villa to go. I want Grealish to leave. Now he's going to have to stay again.
You don't have to.
He's going to have to. Who's paid 80 million for Grealish? No one. No one.
Yeah.
In this market,
Zaha's going to be a lesson to the young youths, man. Don't sign that contract. Don't sign
why
that.
did Madison sign that contract, man?
He's still he's 24 now, so maybe it was 23.
Yeah, but that's going to take him to 27, 28.
Yeah, man. Just put that little chance and say, leak it to the media. I need to go. You'll be fine. He's different with Zaha. He's like 27, 28 now, so it's a bit different with him. But yeah, Madison will be fine. He'll get that routine in that one day.
And that concludes. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and
thank you for sticking with us this season. It's been lovely.